7:15. Good morning. An accident right now, westbound 50 at Jefferson Boulevard. Also a crash on the Yellow Causeway with the left lane blocked. Traffic backed up to Reed Avenue. Traffic brought to you by Zero Res Sacramento, where you can get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $139. ZeroResSacramento.com. Here is Dan in Sonoma. Hello, Dan. What's up?
Hey, Sean, good morning. Well, it is Monday, so that means the Chicago shooting report. 33, kind of all over the place. There was a lot of activity in what we call South Gaza now, and that's what I'm calling South Chicago. 33 shot, 7 dead. This report is sponsored by the Gaza Ministry of Health. The rescue, wow. There's so many things to talk about with the Israeli rescue. The Israelis did what they are so good at, a precision strike, their superior intelligence. And I am almost certain this was 100% completely Israeli born and executed. In other words, they didn't tip off the Biden administration on any level, because if they did, Biden would have, and his operatives would have tipped off Hamas. I'm pretty certain of that. And it continues to disgust me, the media referring to the Gaza Ministry of Health as a reliable source for information. They are claiming over 200 civilians, quote unquote civilians, were killed in this rescue. No, those are probably, what do you call those, human shields, and also operatives, of course, for Hamas. So, and who knows the number? That's just a number they threw out. But regardless, those are people at war. So this is a war, and you have to treat it like a war. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu has been receiving a lot of criticism of late, even from conservatives, suggesting that he's prolonging the war, sort of like what Biden is doing to prolong the war in Ukraine for political gain. And when I first heard that, even from some very reliable conservative sources, that struck me as odd, because Netanyahu doesn't strike me as someone who would do that. And lo and behold, this exercise that they did proves that Netanyahu is not doing things for political reasons. He's doing things for the right reason. Because what's going on now is Israel has basically pushed Hamas all the way to the 5-yard line, if you will. All they have to do is get that 5 extra yards, get into the end zone, and the game is over. And the question from conservatives and across the board is, why hasn't he done that? Well, this rescue proves that's what's going on during those last 5 yards, if you will. That's where all the hostages are. So if he were to cross over and just stomp over Hamas, which he could today, he would basically kill the what is it, 100 or so left hostages that are still left. So he is strategically and very methodically getting these hostages out with the intelligence that he has here. That's why there's a holdup. But it frustrates me how Netanyahu has gotten so beat up for defending his own country.
Well, yeah, that's been going on forever. The left hates Israel, so they hate him because he's pro-Israel. They hate the West, and Israel is the West. So,
but it's never ever. Even God, not that I'm a historian. I love not World War II, but the fascination of history of World War II.
Yeah, I understand. I like history too, but I don't like. Doesn't mean you like everything that happened. Yeah.
Right. But it's fascinating to see how it all came, because in many ways with World War II, things are repeating itself. We'll talk about that in a second. But the racism of Jews was never that bad. It has never been that open as it is today. Think about that. Think what a powerful statement that is. With killing of millions of Jews, today the open racism is worse than it was in World War II. But I mentioned I've been learning a little bit of history about Hitler. Hitler was drug addicted, and he was just all over the place. That sounds exactly like Joe Biden. I mean, he was Hitler was half Biden's age, but he was so drugged up for a whole variety of reasons. You couldn't rely on anything he said. He went off rambling on mad tangents, and that's what we see with Joe Biden. He's literally Joe Biden is literally the Walking Dead. There's nothing there anymore. And what's frightening is that is the commander in chief. And even the Germans at the time said with Hitler that, oh my God, that's the Führer, that's this rambling madman, that's our leader. There was talk about that back in the day. Well, we're having that same kind of talk about Joe Biden. And I just go ahead.
They had a way of crushing the opposition, though.
They did. And I disagree with Gallagher, as I usually do. Biden will be the nominee. They're still going to put him up. If they were going to remove him, they would have done this months ago.
Maybe so. Maybe so. I still think he's not going to be there. But the clock is ticking, Dan. The clock is ticking.
Yeah, we'll pick up on this tomorrow.
You may wind up being right, Dan. You may be.
Oh, I don't want to be right again.
Which, is rare for a married man. So.
Oh, well, this is true. This is very true. Oh, my. Talk to you tomorrow, pal.
Have a fine day, Dan. It is, what is it? 7:21.